Come in. Guys, you're in here. What are you doing in here? Leo, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Nice to see you. Danny,
hello,
nice to see you.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming on the show. We're having so much fun in there. You don't realise what's going on back there.
Nor does the audience.
But we are thrilled that you've come onto the Priory, but partly because I understand that you're not doing any other TV shows. I don't think we are, no.
Right, yeah.
And it's costing us what? Only what is it? 25 million? Is that the going rate? Something like that.
It's all free.
Leo, were you aware of Danny and what Danny had done before?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, I'd seen Shallow Grave and Trainspotting as well. I met him a couple of years before when Trainspotting was released in Cannes. We met there and we talked briefly, and then we met up again and had dinner. Oh God, probably about a year later. And we just really got along well, and I told him, look, you know, if there's anything that ever comes up that, you know, if you ever want to work with an American actor, basically, let me know. And he did, and this came along, and it was, you know, it came right, perfect timing. It was something that I really connected with right away, you know.
So when Leo said that to you, Dan, he said, if you've got anything that comes up, give me a call. What do you think then? Do you think, yeah, I've heard that before? You obviously didn't believe him, surely.
At the time, we didn't really have anything, really. But you thought, well, if there was a chance, you know, if we did have an American character, that would be a fantastic chance to work with somebody like him, because he's very, he kind of mocks in, really.
So there were no fallouts at all?
No.
No?
No, not at all. There was never any situation. I mean, I think that every actor has to give the film away to the director, and then you can only give your opinion on a certain thing, or, you know, throw as many ideas as you can, or argue a certain point, but in the end, he makes the ultimate decision on everything. And I don't think any actor should really overpower that unless, you know, unless the director really sucks. And he doesn't really suck. So.
Well, we've got a clip of the film, so let's take a look.
We're not gonna jump, all right? So just can it.
All right.
Let's do it. Bonsoir!
After the success of the Titanic, which I understand was a pretty huge film.
Yeah, I heard about that film too.
Didn't you just think, well, I can just take some time out now, just knock it on the head? Because I mean, it did become ridiculously huge.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely. It turned into this, you know, this monster that I don't think anyone could sort of foresee before starting the movie. What it had become. It was truly unbelievable. And you know, I was. You know, it took me a while to, you know, like I said before, find something that I really connected with.
Now, listen, backpackers, by definition, are horrific. They're horrible people. I don't know if you spent much time traveling. I did it for a while, and I can't bear them. I mean, you must have spent some time out there. Did you get to meet many?
I wouldn't say they're as horrific.
No, they are.
They're not as horrific as, like, say,
frightening.
you know, people who build hotels in these places, you know, big businessmen that come in and sort of rape the identity of these places. I wouldn't say
but
that.
But they do that in their own more insidious kind of way. That's the thing, and that's I think what the film sort of touches on in places. There was, we only hear about it back here. There seemed to be some environmental fuss at the beginning of filming. Was that the case? Were there some locals that were upset?
I hadn't heard about that.
No.
I mean, any film crew damages wherever it goes, you know, to a degree. You've just got to make sure that you repair what you've done, really. And we made sure that everything that we'd done to the island was put back to the way it was, at the very least. If not, if we couldn't contribute something to the island, at least we could leave it exactly as it was.
Well, it was in better condition, you know, quite frankly, than it was. I mean, I saw the video footage before we got there, even, and I mean, it was literally like it was a campground. A lot of people came in completely, in a lot of ways, they had trashed the island. I mean, we'd taken, you know, I saw that, you know, the film crew had taken over 3 tons of garbage off the island and completely cleaned it up. And it was, you know, it was unfortunate because we were kind of used as this, you know, viewed as this Hollywood, you know, monster that came in and, you know, destroyed their island when in fact, you know, we cleaned it up and made it in better condition than it ever has been, you know.
Now, Leo, there was all sorts of, again, going back to these wonderful rumours, and I don't need to tell you about rumours. I mean, let's face it, you've lived through quite a few. Things like you got stung by all kinds of jellyfish, you had girls stripping in your room, a shark attack, nearly drowning on a boat. I mean, how much of this is...
I would say none of that is true, but I did get attacked by crayfish and lobsters. Which is
just
really
nipping,
horrible.
though, rather
Yeah, it was
than
really horrible, actually. It's actually, I don't really like to talk about it. It was so tragic. No, there was no...
They're only that big.
They had...
They're that size.
No, there was no crayfish or anything like that. But there were jellyfish. There were giant schools of jellyfish that all... That's the one truth about it. There were these giant schools of jellyfish that I think all the actors had to swim through, and you get stung, and you either, like, put vinegar or urine on your legs.
Yeah, I heard about it. I don't like that. I heard about that. Is it true that your boat sank?
Yeah, we were on this boat. It was and we were at sea, and it was absolutely beautiful day. It was just flat, and then suddenly there was just these waves, like 10 feet high, and you just knew we were going to sink. And it's not like in the movies where people shout the boat's going down or anything like that. It's just silent, and people just look at each other, and they know it's going to sink, and there's nobody anywhere near. And we went down, and they couldn't get these safety boats in because they were frightened of the propellers churning people up. There were people everywhere in the water and equipment. So it was very scary, actually, yeah, that one.
Was it the toughest film you've had to make, Leo?
Oh, no. No. You know, Titanic was pretty much the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I mean, it was, it didn't compare, I think no film I'll ever do will compare to the hardships. No, that was a lot of work, a lot of intense work, and it took a long time. So no, as far as like physical labor and hard work, that was the hardest film I'd ever had to do. This was easy. This was fun. This was, you know, the ability to, the opportunity to get into a fantastic character and work in a beautiful location with great people. So I didn't really have.
You were too easy on it. Listen, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you
It's been a
very much.
pleasure. Danny, thanks very much. Well, listen, if you want to come in a bit later on, or are you happy here? You sure you're okay? Well, listen, I'll pop back in a minute, and if you need anything, you just shout. Is that okay? All right, guys, cheers.